everyone, it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome for the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today we're going to be playing around with the markers and colored pencil that came in the May 2020 Artsnacks box. I already have my sketch ready. I just did that with a mechanical pencil, and as of this moment in the video, I am using the Copic multi-liner in black. It's a 0.3mm liner, and I am using it to go over what I have in my sketch because I know this specific liner can definitely hold up to these water-based markers we're going to be pulling in. Since these markers are water-based, I am using a watercolor paper. Technically it is a postcard paper that is 4.1 by 8.3 inches by Hanmule, and it is a very rough texture. After getting my black lines in using the Copic liner, I went in with a kneaded eraser to get rid of my pencil marks, and I am jumping straight in with the yellow King Art brush pen. I did do a little preliminary sketch to kind of figure out what I was doing here. I've started doing that off camera just so I can get a little bit of a better idea of how the supplies work before I go into a final project and apply what I've learned. What I learned from that sketch has to do with composition, but I also learned that these markers didn't really play very well with the marker paper, so I wanted to use this watercolor paper. For the first layer on the hand and arm, I used the Eero G10 colored pencil in opal green. Next, I started applying the kind of light teal King Art brush pen I have, because this and that light pale minty green colored pencil work fairly well together to get some kind of shading going. And I jump back between the colored pencil and that marker to help with the shading. Next I pull in the Marabu Aqua Pen Graphics. It's a nice mid-tone true blue color, and it works well with the two previous colors I have going on in the hand and arm. I also use it over the orangey yellow color I already have laid down for that orb of light to bring in some deeper shading there. And for the reference photo for this drawing, I just took a photo of my arm and hand in a couple of different positions until I found one I kinda liked. Eyeball and palm not included. For even darker shading on that arm and hand, I start pulling in the darker blue / purpley King Art marker color. I don't see any actual color names on these markers, that's why I'm describing them thusly. I am jumping between the various markers at different points and blending them as I go. They do say that you can mix these markers with some water to get some beautiful watercolor type effects. I chose not to do that for this specific project because I just wanted to see how they blended together, first of all, and second of all, I just wanted this to be really bright and graphic and kind of psychedelic looking. I start pulling in more of this lavender color, which I have already used over some of that orangish yellow, and pull the Marabu marker over it just to differentiate it a little bit more from the hand. And then I also pull in that mid-tone blue Marabu for a base layer going down the rest of the background. I did realize as I was doing this project that these colors together would be really nice for a sunset, especially a sunset over a body of water. I think they would work really well together for something like that. At this point, I'm pulling in the Higgins India ink marker, the chisel one. It's a nice deep black. I wanted to put the blue down as the first layer though, just to make it slightly less flat. I am going to be layering over this a lot here to come, just like normal. Gotta keep on keeping on with that layering. Since I am using a thicker watercolor paper, I can keep layering. It's part of why it's awesome. At this point, I'm bringing back in that black Copic marker just to redefine some of my lines that might have gotten a little lost as I was going. I want some really clear defined black lines and some nice white ones, which is why I'm pulling in a white gel pen. This is something I already had that I'm just pulling in. It did not come in this month's box. I just wanted some really bright whites to help bring out some major contrast. So I pulled in this Marvy Reminisce gel pen. And the darker part of this background is going to change a heck of a lot throughout this project. I'll start putting in white lines and then blending them out with the other markers and jumping back and forth quite a bit. I think in some cases this ends up working out better in the long run because the more layers you have, the more depth it gives the entire project. It's almost like glazing with watercolors, acrylics, or oils. After I pull in more of that Higgins black marker, I start to work around other areas of the drawing and allow it to dry a little bit before layering over it again. For these layers, I'm literally just jumping back and forth between all the supplies and seeing what different kinds of effects I can get with it. I actually really enjoyed how all of the items in this box ended up playing together. The King Art brush pens blended into each other really beautifully. The Marabu Aqua Pen graphics also blended well with those King Art markers. The Copic liner worked really nicely too. It stayed nice and juicy, it didn't skip, and it also held up fairly well to the other markers being put on top. I just wanted to make sure that I let that marker dry before I used any of the other ones on top of it. The Higgins India ink chisel tip marker, I really enjoy the fact that it's refillable. I also like the fact that it has a chart on the side that lets you gauge how full it is. I do kind of wish the tip was either larger or smaller. I think this would be great if it was like a big fat marker with a huge tip so you could cover more space a little more quickly. I also think the white gel pen I pulled in worked really well with the items that came in this box as well. It brightened up the areas I wanted brightened up beautifully, and it also worked to lighten up some areas, and I could layer over it with the other markers to get some other effects going on. As for the Tombow Eero G10 colored pencil in Opal Green, I do wish it was a little bit more pigmented. I think because it's one of those really soft, light pastel colors that it could just be this color, because I have some other ones from this brand that seem to work a little bit better. Also, I really enjoyed the color selection. I think these all played well together color-wise. You could kind of jump around with all of these colors and get a lot of different effects depending on how you layer them. They work harmoniously enough together, yet they are different enough from each other to where you can get some nice, bold, beautiful contrast with it. Overall, I really enjoyed the items that came in this month's box. I am very sure that I'm going to use all of them again at some point for other future projects. I had a lot of fun with the items that came in this month's box. The supplies all worked pretty awesomely. I just had a blast making this thing. It was a pretty great experience. But this project, and therefore this video, is almost done. If you liked it, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, feelings, or concerns, or you want to let me know how this art supply has worked out for you, please let me know in that comment section down below. If you want to see more videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. I do Artsnacks unboxings and projects once a month. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day or night to watch this video and listen to me ramble. I greatly appreciate it. Also, I hope you and all your loved ones are staying happy and healthy. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon, and you will definitely be hearing from me soon. Bye, everybody!